It's Plays and Days, 5 things. Plays and Days. It's Plays and Days, 5 things. Plays and Days. It's Plays and Days, 5 things.
Hi, welcome back to Plays and Days, 5 things. Today we're going to be talking about 5 qualities you should look for as a director when picking a stage manager. Your stage manager is part of your assistant crew that can help everything run smoothly backstage. These people are an essential help, especially if you have a large production. So these are 5 things to look for. Thing 1, a personal sense of timing. Now this doesn't mean that they can keep a beat when they're dancing. The kind of timing that says, it will take me this long to do this task. For instance, your stage manager is responsible for going and getting people who are ready to be on stage soon in the next scene or letting them know that their cue is just about happening. They need to know how long they personally take to get from their position backstage to a green room or wherever they're going to call the actor.
That is so important, honey. I am an actress.
They would also need a good sense of personal timing for perhaps pulling a stage curtain. How much strength do they need to exert in order to pull the curtain at just the right speed? Punctuality is important. They need to be personally aware of how fast they read a script and how quickly they respond to an actor falling backstage or a set piece not being put on stage in time. They also need to know how long it's going to take to change a set if they're part of that activity. Thing 2, focus. A stage manager is keeping track of a lot of things. Typically they have a script and it's got a bunch of their notes written on maybe in the margins for things that are just personal tasks for them. They're keeping track of the sound, they're keeping track of how many people are backstage waiting for their cue. When a live production is happening, especially if it's a bigger production or a musical, there's so many interesting things happening on stage, it could be quite easy for a stage manager to become distracted and enthralled watching the performance on stage. They have to be able to get into their own little space and their own little world and pay attention to just their job. So while they're listening to what's happening on stage or hearing that, they may also be hearing something that fell and crashed backstage or a fight going on in the green room or whatever it is. So they need to be able to focus on their tasks. Thing 3, personal physical awareness of your surroundings. Sometimes the stage manager's in a very small space, perhaps tucked back by the curtain, in a small corner of the wings, and maybe there's some quick scenery or prop changes that have to happen. The stage manager needs to be able to know the smoothest path to props or set pieces for any particular scene or actor. And they need to be able to set up the backstage area in a way that makes for smooth transitioning of scenes and actors coming on and off stage. If you've been to any amount of theater shows, you've probably been to one where you heard a loud crashing, banging noise backstage. It's the stage manager's job to make sure the backstage area is set up so those things don't happen, to disrupt this wonderful world that you've created for your audience and for your actors. Thing 4, detail-oriented. Stage managers are keeping track of more things than possibly anyone else in the production. So you want to look for a person who's willing to take notes, to write notes, to have a script that is full of markings that they understand so that they can get their tasks done and keep your show running smoothly. It's fair to say that the stage manager is the one person in a production who can't make mistakes.
You do not want to see the travesty that occurs.
So this person needs to be bright enough to figure out the details and careful enough to make sure that they're taken care of. If something goes wrong on stage or backstage, typically it's the stage manager who needs to be the one fixing it. So they don't really have the luxury of being the one making the mistakes. And thing 5, firm but kind. Your stage manager needs to be someone who your backstage actors and other crew will listen to and obey. Now, let's say you have some particularly chatty people in your cast.
You do seem like the type.
The stage manager needs to be the type of person who, when he or she goes up to those people and gives them the silent signal, that they actually do be quiet. Actors have a lot of energy and a lot of adrenaline going on, so some will tend to be excitable backstage. Your stage manager needs to be able to calm them down and quiet them down with a firm but gentle manner. Other actors need to know that the stage manager is going to be the one doing that, so there's no scuffling and arguing amongst the actors themselves. Now, if you're watching this, but you're typically an audience member and not involved in the production, don't let it spoil your fun. Of course, there's a million things going on backstage that you can't see, but hopefully the performance of your actors is good enough that you will be completely drawn into the world they're trying to bring you into with their show. And that's it for Plays and Days 5 Things to Look For in a Stage Manager. We'll see you next time on Plays and Days 5 Things.
Best wishes, rookie directors. You can totally do this thing. Toodles from Tilda. Hello.